Hey guys, it's Kelsey and back with another scrapbooking process video. This is just a single photo page. It's just a really cute picture of Billy when he was about 2 months old. And my goal for this one is just to use a lot of the big scraps that I've accumulated so far this month. And I really wanted to knock out using this rose gold globe print as the background. So I already used one of these papers this month just to matte a lot of stuff. You really couldn't see the pattern of it. It was more just to give that glimmer and that interest of the rose gold. But I did want to try and challenge myself this month to use one of these as actual background. So the first thing I wanted to do was pull in some vellum that could kind of tone down some of this metallic. So I had a big scrap of this black heart vellum, and I decided I would use that as my bigger layer to help knock back some of the metallic. And then I'll cover a chunk of that up with what's left over of my corrugated cardboard paper and just some other scraps I had laying around that pulls in that rose gold. So this is kind of how I'm planning my layering going. I'm just staggering my scraps how I usually like to do when I'm using scraps. And I'm going to go ahead and start marking where I can gut. I do want a scrap of this globe print to map my photo in, so that's the only reason I'm gutting. Otherwise I probably would not have gut this background, but I wanted that same paper to map my photo in, so I'm just going to steal a chunk of this. This ended up working out because I also get a scrap of the vellum to use on a future layout. That vellum was a really good addition to this kit, but I'm not mad if I have some left over because I feel like that's such versatile vellum. I can use it for anything. But I didn't realize that where I had gut was where I had put my adhesive on the vellum, so I have to re-glue that down and then I will get my other scraps going. But I wanted this to be another one of those fun mixes where I have this really shiny metallic mixed with these grungier products like the corrugated cardboard. I just love that mix this month. And I also wanted to pull in some things from my embellishment pack that I haven't been using as much this month that I'm wanting to make a point to use up. So we'll get there. I don't want to jump too far ahead. But right now I'm just putting all those scraps back where I had them. I'm inking everything in that Ground Espresso Distress Oxide ink to go with our coffee theme. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This photo I just love of Billy. He likes laying in this position, so you may have seen photos I scrapped of him when he was older laying in this position, and I loved this initial photo because I feel like it was a photo whenever I took a picture of him in this pose, I would compare it to this one just to document his growth. So yeah, we were home for college. I think this was summer break, I'm pretty sure, and I think I had just gotten him back because we had right before I got Billy, my family had already planned on going to Panama City for a little beach vacation. So it was really hard because I waited so long to get my puppy, and then I finally got my puppy and I had to give him to someone else for a week while we went on vacation. So this is when we got him back after we got home from Panama City, and he was just resting. He had a big day because the girl who was puppy sitting him also had a guide dog who was a bit older, so I'm sure they had a lot of fun playing with each other. But yeah, that was really, really hard because I, at that point, had been a part of the program for well over a year waiting in line for my turn to get a puppy. And then I finally got him and had to give him back. But yeah, got him back now. Here's that marbly print that I had a scrap of from earlier this month, so I'm using that as another piece to kind of break up some of the brighter papers. And then I'm going to go in with that pink just because I know I'm wanting to pull in some pink elements, and I really like this scrap of the brick. It pulls in that rose gold, but also pulls in some actual color because so far it's pretty monotone. So I have all of this together. I'm going to glue that down, and I'm kind of thinking I'll have a cluster to the left of the photo and then kind of towards the upper right. I did want like a white based paper to add into the mix because my background is a white base, but everything else isn't. So I do have a scrap of this. I'm pretty sure that's a Felicity Jane paper, those sketchy hearts. And I just cut that into two pieces so I could layer it behind this gray paper, just to pull some white in. It also plays off of the hearts and the vellum. But I like that extra layer as well. And then this pink and white ribbon that I got in, I think that was a Felicity Jane grab bag, has been staring at me all month. And I never really felt like the shade of pink in the ribbon went with the pinks I was using on the page. But for this page, I feel like it goes, because the only pink I really have so far is the brick pattern. So I do want to pull that in pretty much how I would use a branding strip and just have that be a horizontal layer that's anchoring everything down. I'm going to even run it over the photo because there's nothing in the photo in that area either. And I really think that looks cool. So I'm really happy I got that ribbon used. And now I'm looking through some other embellishment. I wanted to pull in another one of these tabs because it has the rose gold foiling along the top. And it also helped bring in some more of that pink. So I like that little addition. And then I know for sure I want to try and use the little dark wood veneer teacup and the little banner that says memories. So you'll see me play around with that a lot. And I just feel like the best place for it is on the photo in the lower right hand corner. So I'm planning on that being right above this ribbon that I'm gluing down. But I'm thinking that'll be a little cluster. That was really the first thing when I started composing this page as far as ephemera went. I was like, I want to use this teacup and the memories and hopefully the little tassel, because they have been staring at me all month long in my little embellishment tin, and I keep picking over them. So we're getting them used up on this page. I think about moving them to the left here, but that just looked awkward because the fishtail banner was going in the opposite direction. I was trying to figure out where to do this tassel, and I could do the tassel up by the little tab, and it was just kind of looking not right. So I ended up just putting them both together in the lower right hand corner, and I think it's a cute little cluster. I got all of that stuff used up that I've been wanting to use up all month, so I'll pull in some other stuff from my stash for the other two areas. But yeah, I'll figure it out in a minute. I also have some rose gold paper clips, so I'm really wanting to at least get one of them used up on this page. And then I have still a handful of these little maroon embossed leaves, I guess you would call them. And as soon as I laid these down, I really like the pop that those had. I think this maroon looks really good with rose gold, but it also plays off of the pink tones that I have. So I'm just going to layer up two of them in two corners of the page just to kind of frame my photo a little bit. So I'm going to have two up there by the tab and two just coming out from the ribbon kind of to the left of the photo. And I think that kind of frames everything really nicely. And I like that added texture. So yeah, playing around with my little teacup again. I don't know if I've committed to sticking it down yet, but once I have these two like leaf clusters in place, it really just made more sense visually for me to do it in that corner of the page. So it just takes me a minute. I am going to thread the little tassel with some raw twine. I've said since the beginning that I really feel like the raw twine would be a really good addition to this page and the theme. But I've had all these trims that I've been wanting to use up that I've been using instead. But since I got a full ribbon on here, I think it's okay to use the twine for the tassel. And I think that looks really good with the corrugated cardboard leather layer. It just kind of brings that kind of rustic brown into the embellishment clusters. So I got raw twine used up eventually. And then I also have these 2 word stickers from the Cosmopolitan kit that the globe paper is from. And I really wanted to at least get one of them used up this month. I didn't really think either of those words would go with any of the themes I was scrapbooking. But I think inspire I can get away with more than create. So I'm going to put inspire on here just because I feel like Billy's story is inspiring. And he's a little puppy who is just living life. And he doesn't know how much he's going to mean to so many people at this point. So I think inspire is a good word to have on here. And it's that really soft pink tone, which I think is nice. Pulls in some of the pinks from some of the other layers. And then that's pretty much going to serve as my title. I hadn't thought of a title for this page, so it kind of worked out. I'm just going to use that. And it sits up there on that scrap pretty nicely. From this top-down view, it looks like it's kind of hard to see, but in person, it is very legible, and it actually doesn't look busy at all. So I know from this top-down view, it's kind of difficult to see. But hopefully in the close-ups you'll see a little bit better. I'm just trying to get the 2 dots of those eyes off of the sticker sheet to dot the eyes with. But yeah, I was super happy. I got one of those word stickers used up. Another thing I threw into my kit last minute thinking hopefully I'll get at least 1 sticker used up was this. This wasn't something I was thinking I was going to use up really this month because it leaned into the purples, and this kit is very much pink. But I threw it in because I'm trying to use up Prima stuff, and it was a Prima collection, so I didn't. But yeah, that's why I haven't used it that much. It leans into the purples. But there is this one piece that has the rose gold. It doesn't have any purple. It has kind of a wood grain frame around it. That's just a word sticker that says Our House. And I wanted a sticker to layer on top of the tab, so I'm just going to stick that there. It helps bring in more of that brown and rose gold. So that's why I decided to do. Hopefully I can get more stickers out of that this month. But yeah, I've glad I at least got 1 used up on this page. So now I'm trying to figure out what I do. I really wanted to use a paper clip, so out of the ones I had, I thought this little to-do would be the best, just because we're home now from vacation and it's time to continue our training, so I feel like to-do kind of just worked. It filled in that space really well. Again, it brings in more of the rose gold, so I just decided to secure it with some glue tape along the back, so hopefully it won't shift. And then as my final touch, I decided to go back to the Nuvo drops in the bubblegum pink color. I just think that pink is really sweet. And kind of pulls more pink into a couple more areas. So this is a very hodgepodgey page, but I was so happy I got used up what I did because there's stuff I've been wanting to use all month long. So here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.